What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for yet another wonderful edition of Pigskin Junkies. Myself, Michael Larson, the big brother, Jerry Larson, and once again, the Scott Panza here to talk to you about NFL football week 3 already, boys. We're rocking and rolling. Fellas, we'll give you a moment here to inform the viewers, for those of you who aren't watching your picks every weekend or taking your picks every weekend. One, where can they find that information? And then number 2, how are you doing in those competitions?
So you can find it on BetSperts, which is an app that you can download. We much prefer that to the Action app, excuse me, because the Action app, as we discovered, you can actually put in plays after not only the game has started, but the game has ended. Mm-hmm. And you can edit the line at any point. So I obviously have a massive ethical problem with that and with that network and posting plays on there because on BetSperts you can follow us there. It's pigskin_junkies. We have to put the line when you put the play in, when you make the selection, it's actually the aggregate of all the legal onshore sports books here in the United States. So you don't get to choose the line. The line is what it is. And you have to do it at the actual time of post. So this is not like horse racing where the odds can change. This is sports betting. And as a consequence, we put all of our plays up there. And then we also have been doing at least the NFL picks. I need to get better about putting the college ones up there on Twitter, usually the day of the game. And typically what we'll do is post, at least I'll let Scott opine, but we post the super contest lines. If that's available, obviously it's a play. If it's not, it doesn't mean it is a play or is not a play. That's something for the record purposes in the contest we have, obviously. But sometimes lines get away from people by the time we make the selection all the way to Sunday morning. And then how are we doing? So, right, Nugget 6-6-2. I can't seem to get the NFL card right on the Golden Nugget. The college has been doing pretty well. Circa 3-7, Toilet Bowl. I switched out Chiefs for Vikings this week, and then 5-5 in the Super Contest.
I'm also 5-5 in the Super Contest, 5-5 in Super Contest Gold, 5-4-1 in Circa, 5-4-1 in Circa 2, and 4-5-1 in Circa 3. So had some bad beats on some 18-point leads that evaporated, but we're on to week 3 and try to start making up some ground. We really just try to track to 15 points every quarter in Super Contest, and so we're behind schedule, but nothing a nice little 5-0 weekend wouldn't fix. Mm-hmm. Right? Just
it's casual
5-0.
Unfortunately, last weekend I nailed the slate in my weekly write-up for Jared. All my games I picked, I was 11-5. Unfortunately, I had the Steelers in every entry. I was risk on the Steelers, and Big Ben goes down, and whoop, that's 6 losses across the board. And then, I listened to some of my friends who were total mushes. Specifically one friend, total mush, that was all over the Packers, and I was leaning Vikings, and I inserted them into my lineup instead of, Cards or Lions, some other games that I was really, confident in. So, all you can say is #sadsies and just learn from these mistakes.
I think when we make T-shirts, those are going to have to be the first 2, #sadsies and then don't be a mush. And those got to be the first T-shirts.
All kinds of T-shirts.
Yeah, lots of T-shirt ideas. But yeah, so that information obviously all will be coming on at pigskin_junkies on Twitter. Working on a website still. That's a slow build. But, Rome wasn't built in a day. So, and then if you rate, review, subscribe, the podcast would be much appreciated. So,
Rome wasn't built. That's awesome. I actually had a work thing this week, and they do a podcast. And how many reviews do we have?
I'm not sure. I can check.
I think 45.
Yeah, and this is like a professional podcast, and it was like, we have 28 reviews. I'm like, kind of sitting in the back of the room like, I do one as like a side thing, and I think we have like 50.
Exactly. So
we're making progress. Yeah. We're making progress. Rate, review, subscribe.
Yes. So we appreciate everyone who has done that. Oh, we even
When I see this person,
I mean, we got
we got
more.
more?
Yeah, we got more. So I'll read those at the end. I'll plug those in.
all right.
Scott, I know you got a little plug here for our draft.com, correct?
Oh, yeah. Draft.com. Use the promo code Pigskin Junkies. They have weekly slates. I've been talking about best ball for the whole entirety of the preseason. We had all of our best ball drafts, and now I'm gotten into the weekly drafts. Just did one today for the Thursday night slate, another one for the weekend main slate. So it's a ton of fun. Snake drafts. Blind auction drafts, which are also a ton of fun. So use our promo code Pigskin Junkies if you want to sign up and join us on there. We also have the Pigskin Junkies inaugural best ball competition, and D. Carney is in the lead. Jared and I are just behind a couple spots. So that so far has been a blast.
Week 1, so get this. I had 129.82 points in week 1 and 129.72 points in week 2. Just like the model of consistency over here. Scott hit the nail on the head. When you're bored at work, this thing pops up. It goes ding, you draft. It's like 5 minutes and it's over. It's the coolest thing in the world. So download it and use our code.
Download it, use our code. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, if you have 5 minutes and you're like, oh, I don't want to have to worry about these salary caps. I gotta think about who I'm picking and who everyone else is picking, ownership, blah, blah, blah. No, this is great. The person in front of you takes them. You can't take them. You get the next person. No one else gets them.
Mm-hmm. And
way better.
And what's the update in the draft as well? Did you guys already say? I know we said on last week who was leading, but
yeah, DeCarnier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I totally botched that. Whoever won the bowl contest last year, man.
Yeah.
I kept saying whatever that guy's name was. He's like,
Lapien.
Yeah, he's like, no, yeah, the Lapien, the French guy. And he's like, no, man, it's like Lapini or whatever. I don't remember anymore, but it was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. So we're gonna give the people what they want. We're gonna get right into it. We've got all our plugs out of the way. We're getting right into the action. So, game numero uno.
Plug.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. I mean, it's within the first 10 minutes. We're rocking and rolling. I love it.
Dude, Joe Rogan has like 9 minutes of commercials before he even says a word, so I don't feel bad.
No, not at all. And if people are really smart, well, hold on. Let me do my Jared. Guys, look, don't be a mush. If you just want to listen to the podcast faster and get through everything, just put it on ×2. It's in the bottom right hand of your phone. Just do it. Get through the podcast. Nobody cares.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
There it is. It's not
Use
that
your brain.
hard. Thursday night, once again, just to reiterate, we have a strict no touchy rule when it comes to Thursday night football.
You're
I'm
going to bet this one, though.
Okay.
You're betting this one?
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it.
So Jags on the road, at home. They're the dog, which I already know what Jared's going to say. If you've listened to this podcast ever in your life, you all know. You know what Jared's going to say. So when I tell you that the Titans are favored on the road by 1.5 points, Jared Larson will say,
This game is so on brand for me. Gardner Minshew, throw out all this nonsense about Jalen Ramsey. This defense is still stiff. And look, you got Tennessee coming off an emotional loss at home. Now they got to go on the road, short week in division, and they're laying points. I don't necessarily think that doesn't mean they can win the game, but if you're going to give me a couple points at home, I'm going to take them. I'll bet the Jags, not in the contest, mainly because all the reasons we've said 1,000 times on here, but I want info, and making all of my picks on Thursday morning is unwise for the balance of the contest. So I'll be betting it. Give me the Jags, and give me. I think there's a couple twos out there, so shop around if you can get a couple twos.
Strong disagreement. I just have the visions of Derrick Henry just running all over the Jags, uninspired on Thursday night last year. Much of the same this year. I expect the Titans to roll all over them. So sorry. I'm a Gardner Minshew truther, but
it sounds
they
like
have a lot of issues there.
If you ever
Sounds like
wondered,
there's a wager brewing.
If
An
you're-
Inter-Junkies brewer.
Well, when people listen to
brewery.
this in the morning, one of us is going to look smart and one of us is going to look like a dope and to kick off the pod. So
It's
I hope
true.
it's me. Sorry, Jared.
If anyone's ever wondered what it's like to watch, or ever wondered what it would look like if Freddie Mercury played football, just watch Gardner Minshew come off the airplane, and even the fact that he stretches pregame in his jockstrap. I mean, winner,
Beast.
absolute winner.
They should have won the game last week. Should have just let him roll out and make something happen.
Hindsight
Put him back in the
2020.
cage after letting him out there for
Hey,
whatever.
We all told Pete Carroll he should have run the ball. So, what are you gonna do now?
I did.
What are
I
you
didn't.
gonna
I
do?
did tell Louisiana Monroe they should have gone for 2, though. I did say that.
So, next game up.
Whatever the Brits.
Broncos in the battle of the elite quarterbacks taking on the Packers at Lambeau Field. Packers -7.5.
So I'm very conflicted on this game. First, the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, Rich Scangarello, his coaching tree is UC Davis, Idaho, UC Davis again, Northern Arizona. He was a quality control coach for the Raiders and the Falcons, a QB coach at the Niners, and now he's OC of the Broncos somehow. I don't know how this guy got this job. Oh, yeah, OC of Wagner College in 2016, powerhouse. So I don't know how he got this job. He doesn't look all that competent early. However, the defense Vic Fangio has in Denver, knowing Aaron Rodgers and getting more than 7 just feels juicy to me. This is going to be a stay away game for me. I lean Denver, but I mean, I just want to puke all over betting on Joe Flacco. So I don't know if I could do it. Definitely not a super contest play. But if the spread widens a bit more, it may be a cash play this weekend.
Yeah, I made it 7. No play here. Joe Flacco stinks. I'll just keep saying it every week. The guy's no good. And Vic Fangio as a head coach, not sold. I got to see something. I like LaFleur. I like Aaron Rodgers. On point for me in terms of the price. So stay away.
Big news coming to a friend of the podcast, Jeff Driscoll, now a part of the Motor City Kitties, and they will be traveling to Philly this weekend. Eagles -6.
We should have used his time like unemployed for 10 days to get him on the podcast. That was unwise on
That would've been
our
great.
part.
Yeah, that'd be a great phone call, Jared. Hey, Jeff, heard things aren't that good right now. How about you come on the podcast?
Get on our show instead.
I heard you got a lot of free time now.
I heard you were in the film room yesterday, and today you got some free time. So why don't you get on a podcast with a bunch of losers? Yeah, right. We're awesome.
But Lions gobble up the 6 points. Eagles, way too many injuries on both sides of the ball. I don't know who's going to be catching passes. Nelson Aguilar only drops passes. The secondary of the Lions has been great. They can rush the passer. They looked good against the Chargers last week. Give me the 6. I think this is going to be – people are going to be looking at this spread and be like, why is it only 6 points? And mush faces are going to be all over the Eagles. Give me the 6 with the Lions all day.
Yeah, I made this number 7. Didn't really adjust for any of the injuries and uncertainties that are out there, so I want to see where that comes in. I agree with Scott. I think Joe Public will look at this and say this line seems a bit short. I could see Kerryon Johnson having a nice day fantasy-wise, but probably no play for me in the contest or otherwise. But I want to see a little bit more info on injury report for the Eagles.
Jared, when you hear Nelson Aguilar, what am I going to say?
I don't know. I don't know.
Played him in high school.
Oh, jeez.
Held him to like
Is he the kid from Melbourne?
from Berkeley. No. Scott was on the Dolphins for a little bit. Marcus May, obviously playing for the Jets. Yeah, it's real fun when you flip on a television screen and you see these guys out there. And you're like, here I am on my couch.
Watching.
Yeah, just stuffing my face with cheese.
Where is Berkeley Prep?
Yeah, Tampa.
Yeah. The kid The kid we were talking about, otherwise, Scott, I would go to Micah's games in high school, and you can tell instantly who the next level talent is. You're like, yeah, there's something in there. Yeah. He's going to the next level.
Marcus May, after single-handedly beat our high school team as a freshman. He was a year older than me. But our coach came over after the game. He goes, look, that guy's going to be playing on Sundays. So
yeah.
As a 15-year-old, he already knew. But next game up, Ravens, the talk of this is honestly probably the game of the week.
Game of the weekend for sure.
Ravens, Chiefs obviously. So this is at Arrowhead, -6.5.
Another spot, I'm going to gobble up the points. So LaShawn McCoy, Damian Williams, both out of practice this week. Concerning for the Ravens that Jimmy Smith was also out of practice. So their secondary is definitely a bit vulnerable. But last year, these two teams met. It was a 3-point game. It was also, I believe, a 7-point spread last year, or 6.5. I'm taking the points. I don't like betting against Patrick Mahomes because he just puts up touchdowns and numbers in bunches, but some of these injuries are going to catch up to them. Give me the points.
Ooh, disagreement again. This is like the opposite of last week. Last week we had all agreement, and then yes, I'm writing them down. This is a team I've been betting on really since, call it, the last quarter of last year. I will be continuing to do so. Them and the Blitzkrieg offense. I really haven't seen this since 1998 with Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss, and Chris Carter and Jake Reed.
Were you asleep during the whole 2007 season?
2007. Yes.
There's one common denominator between those two teams.
There certainly is. Correct.
The same guy. What number did he wear in
81
New England?
He was 81.
81. Yeah,
84,
he was 84 in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
That's the man. What a dude. I really like him. I made this number 7, and I was shocked. I thought I was really making it high, and I saw 6.5, and I was surprised. I very candidly thought I'd see probably a 4 or a 5. So 6.5 is high, but I'll lay it and take the Chiefs.
Ooh, I'm just excited to watch this football game. It's going to be. I'm hesitant to give Lamar Jackson everyone's already crowning this like the new Manning Brady thing and the new era of quarterback. These are the two faces, whether you like it or not. Here they come, type of thing. We did this with Joe Flacco. Like let's calm down. They're even starting to throw Dak into the mix. Yes, they've started off hot, but at the rate star quarterbacks are faltering right now, who knows? I mean, they might be the only quarterbacks that are left standing at the end of the season.
Dude, they haven't played anybody. They played Miami, who we saw is putrid, and they played Arizona.
Yeah.
I agree. I want to see more, but I've been impressed with what I've seen so far from Lamar. So
yeah, and I don't want to pretend like Kansas City's got this world beater defense that's going to be able to stop him either. But at the same time, I think Lamar is still unproven this season based on who they've played.
Mm-hmm. Not bad for a running back though.
Yeah.
Next up, it's not who dat, it's who day. Correct. And that is the Bungles traveling to upstate, the only team in the state of New York.
That's right. Orchard Park.
The only team. Whee! The Buffalo Bills -6 at home.
So everyone knows this is a Buffalo Bills truther pod. We love Buffalo. We love Josh Allen. Lay the 6. Feel confident in the 6. The Bengals' offensive line cannot stop anybody. The Bills have 12 QB hits already this season. Their secondary is stout, and the Bengals have 2 guys they can throw to. Mixon still battling an ankle injury. I know 6 feels a little high, but this is a home opener, and the Buffalo police are already trying to figure out how to calm down the folks in Orchard Park. Lay the 6. I feel very good about it. Buffalo continuing to circle the wagons.
It's going to be a lot of tables getting broken this weekend in Orchard Park. A lot of fires getting started. It's going to be rowdy in there. I do think that the Bengals of last week against the Niners are a lot closer to the truth than the Bengals of week 1 against the Seahawks. I actually made this 6. So I will be circling the wagons and watching very closely. I will not be laying any type of points, but Scott and I got a couple things brewing over a certain season win total. So I will be pulling for our Buffalo Bills, but no official selection for me. Is that a pick for you, Scott? Do I hear?
It will be a pick. Yes.
Okay.
Scott out here. Nom, 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 nom. Delicioso.
Yeah, he's eating points. He does that at the Lions.
That's fair.
I was swallowing points on the other games.
Yeah. That's fair.
Or
That's fair.
taking. Yeah.
You're okay. All right. I'm trying to put it on somebody else. I'm the king of the favorites.
Mike eats a heavy diet of points.
That's what I do. You don't get to be my size and not eat points all day long. Falcons, the Dirty Birds, with a big win. The other night, was it Monday night? No, Sunday night. Sunday night, big win for the Falcons after just an embarrassing week 1. Just goes to show you how you never know what's going to happen any Sunday. Because then the next Sunday, the Vikings looked like absolute hot dung. But the Falcons taking on the Colts. Colts at home, the favorite, -1.5.
I will be expecting. I think Nyheim Hines is actually a sneaky DFS GPP play this weekend, just because the Falcons continue to be one of the worst teams against receiving running backs. I'll lay the 1.5 with the Colts. I'm not a fan of this Falcons team. Dirk Cutter is not a good offensive coordinator. They got lucky in this last game, and it was despite all the injuries of the Eagles. They should have won that game going away. There's turnovers, injuries, everything went against the Eagles, and they needed a last-second miracle touchdown and then a staunch stop to beat the Eagles. So lay the 1.5. I'm taking the Colts.
Same. First agreement of the week. I made this 4. I think the Colts laying only 1 at home is very disrespectful to a unproven Atlanta team that won. I mean, that you talk about spots. It doesn't really get much more of a spot for Atlanta to show up. And I agree with Scott. I was very underwhelmed. I think Philly played poorly enough to give Atlanta an opportunity to win, which they capitalized on. But for the majority of that game, I didn't see anything that was super impressive. So I'm looking to fade Atlanta really for the rest of the year, and it starts here with a quality Colts team at home. So, lay the short number, bet the money line. This is the Wonkavator pick of the week.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. Let me tell you, that division is so
loaded.
Wide open. Holy
Can't wait.
Goodness. Who is going to win that division?
Give me a good one. Yeah.
Oh, it could legitimately be Tampa Bay, which is just insanity.
Don't.
No way. No way.
I don't want to get your guys' hopes up. I'm just saying
They stink.
Every team stinks.
The other quarterbacks in the division right now are Teddy Bridgewater, Kyle Allen, Matt Ryan, but he's got Dirk Cutter. I mean, I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying it's possible.
Do you ever think, as a Falcons fan, would say, hey, I wish I still had Steve Sarkisian?
No chance. I'd take Dirk Cutter over Sarkisian every day.
Yeah.
I would too.
Sarkisian is like drooling on himself in the locker room.
Hey. Just because
For
that
more
guy
than
knows
one
how
reason.
to live doesn't mean you make
More
fun
than
of
one
him.
reason.
Next
We're not
up-
moralists here, Jared. We're talking about betting on football.
Yeah. Come on now. Next up, the game that I will be attending and will be screaming at the top of my lungs. The Skull Chant will happen. I'll make sure to post lots of videos because that is electric. Raiders traveling to Minnesota. I was very surprised by this line. -8.5.
Ooh, this is my favorite game of the weekend. I liken it back to last year after the Vikings got just embarrassed And then we went to AC. We were doing the VSiN show, and the Vikings were playing the Dolphins, and they were laying, I think, 7 or 8 points, and it was such a juicy bet. I liken this game exactly to that. Kirk Cousins went on the road, made some very bad decisions. He comes back. People are down on him. Lay the 8.5. Now let me tell you something about John Gruden. John Gruden on the road is minus 14.6 points since becoming coach of the Raiders. They're 1-7 in their last 8 road games. Their lone win was at the Cardinals last year, who are the worst team in football. Lay the 8.5. Feel great about it. Try to get it under 10. By the time this pod comes out, I'll probably move all the way up to 10. Try to get it under 10. Feel very confident that the Vikings and Dalvin Cook are just going to run all over the Raiders.
I don't disagree with you. I made this 8, and I want no part of betting on the Oakland Raiders at all. I think everyone saw them in a very public spot week 1 where when you talk again, so going back to spots, extra motivation at home, final season in Oakland, Antonio Brown just hosed them over. They want to come out and stick it to him, and they played the shitty Broncos with Joe Flacco. And as a consequence of that, I think the Vikings should be favored here by somewhere between 8 and 10 points. A lot of points to lay, though, with Kirk Cousins. I just don't – I like the angle that Scott said. It's a no play for me. It's Vikings or pass, onward and upward.
This is going to be a Zimmer game beyond belief. It's going to be we are going to shut you down, and then we're going to run the ball down your throat. And it comes either the second quarter or third quarter. You are just – I mean, realistically, it'd be fourth quarter, but I don't think their offense is going to be on the field long enough to where that defense is going to get fatigued fast, and Dalvin Cook is just going to be – and they're just – our backfield's going to get after it. I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch. But I am excited, and I will kind of be cheering secretly, but Daniel Carlson making his return to U.S. Bank Stadium and to play the Vikings, the team that drafted him, and then cut him after missing 3 field goals against the Packers last year, which then Dan Bailey missed one this weekend. But, hey, I'm not bitter, so it'll be fun.
43.5 the total. Under?
Honestly, I might.
30-3.
Yeah. I was going to say 30-7, 29-7, something like that. Mm-hmm. That might have to be a selection. Stay tuned.
So, there's been a lot of hype around Dolphins-Cowboys and the spread that this game has been getting. But let me tell you, my friends, there is a spread that is higher than that one, which no one is talking about, and it's just gross. And that is the Jets traveling to the Patriots, minus 22.5 for the home team.
Insanity. So as we're recording this podcast, it's Wednesday night. This is hashtag wedding season, so thanks for bearing with us. A little early recording. So right now, I'm not certain if C.J. Mosley and co are playing. Queenan Williams, if he's playing. If they're not playing, this is a lay the 22.5. This is a lay that number.
He did it.
And the Pats are an auto DFS play for your defenses in any of your DraftKings or FanDuel. I'm laying the number because I don't know how this Jets team is going to move the ball, and I know that their defense is going to get toasted. So, but if C.J. Mosley, Queenan Williams play, this is probably a little overreaction. C.J. Mosley's really legit, but their corners are so bad. Tom Brady's going to exploit them. I would not bet the Jets in any fashion, but if all those defensive players are out, I mean, I'd feel pretty decent about laying the 22.5.
Yeah,
I know you're allergic to it.
I can't do it. I'd get a rash. I would have an allergic reaction. It's insane. It's insane. It's an NFL team in division.
Sort of.
Who's the quarterback again? Simeon got hurt. Who's the knucklehead they brought in?
Luke Falk.
Yeah. From Washington State. That's right.
I had to pick him up in a 2 quarterback league because I got smashed by the injury bug. But I made a trade for another player, and I'll talk about it in a few games because they're about to come up, and I feel great about it.
Luke Falk, Garner Minshew, Mike Leach. You know,
Luke
all
Falk was
crossing
the
over.
QB when they squeaked by Auburn in 13.
that's right. I remember.
And he said that
I was
they
in
were,
the house.
or Auburn squeaked by Washington State, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first game my freshman year of college. It goes by fast.
Poof, gone.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and I will not. I'm not touching this game on either side. I certainly don't want any part of the Jets, but I cannot lay 3 touchdowns in the NFL. Can't do it.
Yeah, this is a game where you just sit back and watch the highlights. You don't actually watch the game. You're just like, dude, I can't do it, and I won't be able to watch this next one. And living in this state, it's honestly hysterical. Talking to anyone that tries to be a Dolphins fan, because they're just like, it's over. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. They're just racking up picks, but that's not. Even when you get the picks, there's still not a chance that they all turn out to be something.
And they're all going to be rookies.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to take a while to develop, so it's just going to be hysterical. So Dolphins going to Jerry World to take on the surprisingly, not surprisingly, but pretty hot Cowboys with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Spread minus 21.5 is what's locked in for the competition. This will probably go up.
Yeah, you can't bet on the Dolphins, and I mean their over/under number in live markets are 1.5 now. They've shown no fight. Fitzpatrick looks awful. He has no one to throw to. Offensive line is terrible. I would never touch the Dolphins in this spot. Gun to the head, I'd lay the 21.5, but I'm staying far away from this one. The Cowboys only burn me. Pass. But you can't touch the Dolphins. I don't care if it is 21.5 points. They've shown nothing.
Yeah, hard pass. And there's been bad teams before, but this is like they're bad and people are quitting and they're trying to get out and they want trades and it's, I mean, toxic in there.
How many teams have gone? Were the Lions the first team to go defeated in a regular season?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Winless.
yeah, so you could have the Dolphins be the franchise that has the only undefeated season and also a winless season to their record. That'd be
Pop the
something.
champagne. Pop
Yeah.
the champagne.
Do you bring back those guys and just like have a party for that team
With all the
with all the losers?
I mean,
So
just
if you had
trading Minka Fitzpatrick this week, I mean, if you're on that defense, what are you thinking in meetings this week? I don't know.
I'll sign a one-day contract at this. I'll run out there. I'll go out there. I'll play in the NFL for a day, get my face kicked in. But hey,
I was gonna say, hey, yeah,
could
you'd
give
get
him-
everything kicked in.
I could get 2 good snaps, I think, on defense. 2.
You would get one,
I'm saying endurance.
and then you would pass out from exhaustion. Okay, gun to your head. Gun to your head. You have to take the points in one of those 2 games. Who are you doing it on?
Pats.
Jets.
Jets.
Ooh.
No. Take the points.
Oh.
So you either have to take the Dolphins or the Jets. Who do you take?
Yeah, Jets. I mean, the Dolphins are so inept. It's unbelievable. It's not even it's unbelievable. Everyone wondered, like, oh no, the NFL, like, you can't really tank. There's no way of doing it. Well, the Dolphins are writing the book right now.
Trying. They're trying. I guess that's what I was alluding to. Like the Jets are bad, but I don't think they've quit yet.
No.
And Josh
Dolphins
Rosen,
quit.
it's just funny because you have Darnold and Rosen, who's like been which one, and they both are on these 2 teams. They're horrible.
Yeah. Poor
And
Josh Rosen.
If I'm Rosen, I'm going, look, like, I came here, I wanted to win, I wanted to be your guy, and you're still just going after Tua. So don't ruin my career and like just put me out there as the scapegoat and leave Fitzmagic out there. He's got a Harvard degree. Whatever. Like,
I'm surprised some of these teams that are, like the Jags, not the Saints, because why not hit up Ryan Fitzpatrick for a little Fitzmagic?
I agree.
yeah.
Or Rosen.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I think you want a vet, though, that can, kind of lead the charge.
Yeah, with that defense, I throw like a Jags throw the Dolphins like a third rounder, fourth rounder, something like that.
Why not?
Like a solving the world's problems, right?
I don't know. Gardner Minshew's look pretty good, but maybe we start seeing some regression as more tape on him.
Yeah.
So, big news, obviously, this week. Daniel Jones named the starting quarterback of the G-Men. They will be traveling down.
The G-Men.
Yep. Jared and I talked about this, Scott. Are you going to pay for ESPN Plus to watch
No.
Boomer and...
No. Absolutely not. You kidding me?
and Tommy back in the booth?
Oh God, I think the novelty would be good for like one weekend to watch that rundown and then just pluck my eyebrows past.
It was funny, even like they had them in the studio, and Berman's just sitting there like, I can't believe I'm back in here. And Samantha Ponder's trying to ask him about nicknames, and he's just like, lady, I don't care anymore, okay?
I'm rich.
Yeah.
Just put me on the show. Back.
Yeah. Back, gone. But they're traveling down to Raymond James to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the wonderful offense led by none other than Jay Boo Winston. Eaton W's, Bucks favored -6.5.
So the QB I alluded to in my two QB league that I made a trade for was Daniel Jones. And guess what? It's an insult that the Bucks are like 6.5 points. I was praying that this number came out at 7 because it's just jump all over with the Giants. I mean, their defense is terrible. They can't rush a passer, but it's Jameis Winston we're talking about here. Every time that Jameis Winston has won a game in the NFL, not every time, I went back through his game logs, I'm pretty sure he's only followed up a win with another win once in his career, once or twice. It's a very low number. So I'm gobbling up the 6.5 points. I want to see if Latimer comes back this weekend and Sterling Shepard, but Daniel Jones played with all these guys that he's going to be thrown to in the preseason where he looks great. Give me the 6.5 points all day. I'm not laying this big a number with Jameis Winston is just insanity.
Barftown, yeah. I agree with Scott. I made it 3. Jameis Winston, in my opinion, is not a whole lot better than Daniel Jones. Scott, what you didn't mention was that Micah loves Daniel Jones, so this will probably be a Giants love fest here for this one. Yeah, give me the 6.5. I think you get to 7. I would grab that if I saw it immediately. Bucks are not any good. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants.
Expecting a huge Evan Ingram game.
A lot of New York fans down there as well.
Yeah.
I would expect it to be maybe 60-40.
How hot is it going to be?
It'll be hot. 90.
I mean, nice and
85. Yeah, humid.
Humid. Yeah.
Nice and humid.
Wrong. Next up, God, the Bucks. Daniel Jones, Scott. If you ever listen to our college picks, I basically rode Duke into the grave.
Basically had Duke every week last year
because they just got no love, and Daniel Jones was, for the most part, good enough to get me on the green side. Next, the battle of golly, I don't even know how to call this a battle of anything. I was gonna say something about the quarterbacks, but it's just not there. It's just not happening. Panthers traveling on the road to the Cardinals. Cardinals favored -3.
So I think massive overreaction to the Cam Newton news. And I will be taking the 3 points all day with Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen last year, week 17, led his Panthers to a nice victory against Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints, a team that was trying to show out for Teddy Bridgewater last year, and they just got absolutely cooked. Things to note with Kyle Allen. Last year, he was all over targeting DJ Moore. I just think that this Cardinals team shouldn't be laying numbers to anyone. Christian McCaffrey, this is a chow down fest for him. The Cardinals allowed 156 yards on the ground per game last year. I imagine you're going to see a very steady dose of run CMC this weekend. And then Kyle Allen, if they're going to throw eight in the box, he has weapons on the outside to get the ball to. Also, they're on extended rest off a humiliating loss at home. Give me the 3 points all day.
Yeah, too early in the week for me. I got to hear what's up with Cam. Is Cam in or out?
It looks like he's going to be out.
Yeah, so I'm going to want to see that information before I make any moves. With the assumption that he would be playing, I made this Cards +2. So I would agree with Scott that it's a bit of an overreaction. I certainly am not interested in laying any points with the Arizona Cardinals and their ineptitude in the red zone. So as a consequence of that, I will pass on this game. Hard pass.
Yeah, it's the there. Here we go. I got the battle now. The battle of the two PPR running backs, because McCaffrey and Johnson are just those are the guys.
yeah.
If you have them in your PPR league, you're rolling. You're feeling real nice. Next up,
Very nice.
Teddy Bridgewater versus Russell Wilson. The matchup everyone had circled on their calendar. The Saints.
So preseason, assuming Drew Brees is playing, this was a pick'em. Now it's, I guess, Drew Brees is worth 4 points, but I don't know who's watched Teddy Bridgewater play football and has any confidence in him leading scoring drives in one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. I'm laying this 4. I can't believe it's this low. It's kind of shocking, but I mean, I just don't know how the Saints compete with a depleted offensive line and Teddy Bridgewater behind center, unless they're going to just run Taysom Hill trickeration. I don't get this number. It's lay the 4 with the Seahawks all day.
Another agreement, Scotty. I made this 9. I don't understand why it's so cheap. I bet the Rams last week against the Saints. I'm going to bet the Seahawks this week against the Saints. It appears that the odds makers are giving them quite a bit of credit, and I candidly don't understand why, especially away from home.
ESPN still had them in their power rankings at 9, and this was after the Drew Brees news. What are people smoking over there?
Yeah, I really don't get it. We'll be on the birds here. My boy Russell Wilson.
I missed him.
We've missed him the first 2 weeks. I actually bet against him week 1. God forbid.
You bet him against him week 2 too.
That's right. That was a terror. Well, so did you. Don't put me under this bus. I'm dying alone.
Sorry, Russell. I'm
sorry, Russ. I'm sorry, Russ. We're back. We've learned our lesson. We're back on you. I think it's too short. As I said, I trust them to win this game. I really don't know as to what to say. I was dumbfounded. I made it 9. It came out 4. I said that lock. Wonkavator. Pick number 2. Bonus Wonkavator.
Bonus Wonkavator. Oh, man. Next up, Texans traveling to L.A. to take on the Chargers. Chargers -3.
Staying far away from this one. Gun to the head, I'd be on the Chargers. Play the 3, but Texans' offensive line is very vulnerable against his Chargers pass rush, and the Texans' defensive line, even with J.J. Watt, they should be getting to Phillip Rivers, and I don't know if they will. They haven't really rushed the passer all that much this year, so I'd lay the points, but I'm not touching this game.
Yeah, no way. This is two teams that love to lose, love to find ways to lose. And I really hope the Texans just fire Bill O'Brien, at this point. Now that I'm thinking about it, speaking of the Wonkavator, let's get some Seahawks and some money line parlays with Vikings and Chiefs. There's a couple things brewing that you'll see on the Twitter.
I was actually thinking about a 3-team teaser with Seahawks, Rams, Vikings. We haven't gotten to the Rams yet, but something along those lines.
I hate crossing the line though.
You do?
Cross the 0 line and tease with teasers.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's like a rule. Cardinal sin. It's like betting against Russell Wilson.
I don't know. My teaser, I always like talking about teasers with one buddy. He always sends me his 3-team teasers. We love chatting
3-team
about it.
teasers, a Sixer, a Miller Lights, and an NFL afternoon. What a great day.
Just sweating, sitting on the couch. We've all
Fantastic.
been there.
Yeah.
Next up, Steelers, 49ers. 49ers at home and the favorite at -6.5.
There's a really bad trend of teams that open up on the road and then come home against the spread in the last since 2003. It's like 29% of that they cover that first home game. I think much of this is a overreaction to the Big Ben news. I wasn't impressed with Mason Rudolph. I know people said that they were impressed with what they saw. I was not. Having said that, this is another stay away game. Just too many uncertainties with both teams. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I made it 3.5, but I'm not going to play it either. Reason being, my concern for the Steelers team is not necessarily with the quarterback, but with the defense. They have been shredded 2 weeks in a row. And my concern, again, primarily on that side of the ball, I think Mason Rudolph actually played okay in the second half of the game last week. But if you can't stop anyone, no interest. And I need to see a little bit more from the Steelers defense before I can get back on the train after 2 L's in week 1 and week 2.
There you go. I'm assuming, and I'm sorry, I can't remember, but I believe it's Browns, Rams is the Sunday night game, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
So Browns, Rams, -3. Browns, Browns are at home.
No, Rams.
They're the dog. Rams -3.
So Monday Night Football, everyone watched the Browns and just thought this is a team everyone was so hyped about. So all the public money is going to be on the Rams. They've looked great the first 2 weeks. Significantly better head coach, defensive coordinator, all across the board. Every box checks Rams. And it just scares me that everyone's going to be on the Rams. Gun to my head, I'm betting the Rams. I'll probably take them in, some cash plays this weekend. I'm going to avoid them in the Super Contest for the simple fact they're probably going to be the most bet on team, and I try to avoid those at all costs unless I have to take them. So it's just too much of a public spot for me. I like the Rams. The Browns look terrible, but not a Super Contest play, a cash play for sure on the Rams.
Yeah, I think the Rams are undervalued. So I feel like we found a team that's kind of overvalued in the Saints, and I feel like the Rams are the undervalued side of that equation. But I made this 3. This is spot on. I've been looking. I agree with Scott. Everything points towards the Rams. This is a marquee game. I expect Cleveland to fold just like they did in week 1. And as they continue to get into these primetime spots, I can't wait to see how they're able to handle that. I think they'll get better. So I would say fade them early and then look to play on late in some of these primetime spots. So I'll be staying away this week, but I like same thing as Scott. Gun to my head, I'm taking the Rams.
There you go. Yeah, that Browns game on Monday was not fun to watch at all.
Oh, no.
So next up,
Terrible.
the monsters of the Midway traveling to this wonderful nation's capital to take on the Redskins. Bears -4.
I'm befuddled with this one. Case Keenum typically covers, except he hasn't the last 2 weeks. Oh, no, he covered week 1. He didn't cover last week. I like the Redskins in this spot just because Mitchell Trubisky's just looked terrible. And I don't know if there's an end in sight for him. But this is another stay away, frankly. I'd be on the Redskins Monday. But both these teams stink.
Yeah,
now.
Redskins are pass. I've said it before. I'm looking for spots to fade the Bears. It is not here with the Washington Redskins. Gun to my head. Give me the points, but no interest in the Bears, and I haven't seen anything from the Redskins either that would indicate any level of capability from either the organization or the team or the head coach. Johnny Boy Gruden. Jay Gruden.
Yep, not John. Jay.
Sandusky, Ohio. Or wherever they're from.
Oh, you know who else is from Sandusky, Ohio?
Oh, Tommy Boy.
Tom Callahan.
That movie's been on TV.
Real people or fake
lately.
people?
This is fake people. Hold on, wait, Jared.
He's seen
You don't
Tommy
get
Boy.
Tommy Callahan?
Yeah, I do.
Callahan Auto?
He's not a real person. He's in a movie.
Hey.
Hey.
That's why I said it's these real people or fake people.
Callahan Auto. That's the guy
Callahan
who wants to
Auto.
put you
I
out of
make car
business.
parts for the American
Yeah.
working man.
Skalinsky. Because that's who I am. And that's why I believe it. That's a great.
That's who I care
Oh,
about.
yeah, exactly.
It's a great film.
It is. And
That's one I
young Paul
actually
Rudd.
have seen.
Oh, that's good.
Or not Paul Rudd. God, why did I say Paul? I
David
was-
Spade. David
No,
Spade.
yes, David Spade, but who's the
Dave Spade was on Simmons' podcast. That was actually good.
Rob
I'm
Lowe.
not a huge
Rob Lowe,
Simmons
thank
guy,
you.
but Rob Lowe.
Was that when Rob Lowe was sober?
I don't know. He was friends with Farley back then, so probably not.
Fuzzy?
Bo Derek. Don't forget about Bo Derek.
Yeah.
God, what a classic.
Could really use some wind. So that's talking
Yeah.
Tommy Boy.
So, guys, we're, like we mentioned earlier, we're recording this on Wednesday night. But I do have a weekly write-up. If you want to send in your email to pigskinjunkiespodcast@gmail.com, I'll add you to my email chain. It's a write-up for all the games. It's as I digest games a little bit more, did a little bit more research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to get on the mailing list, drop us an email. We'll add you to it.
So the idea being once Rome is built, and when I say Rome, I mean our website, you will be able to do that on there, but it's not ready yet. So we're going analog. Send us your email in an email, and we'll respond with an email.
What is
Old
this?
school.
What is Page me.
Corporate
and then-
America.
And then I'll fax you.
6,000. Yeah. Send me a carrier pigeon with your mailing address, and we'll regular U.S. mail you information.
Snail mail. It's hard to believe that still exists, but hey, how else are you going to get invited to weddings?
It only exists because the U.S. government subsidizes it and keeps it alive. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
Ooh, there we go.
Don't get
Yeah, I was going to say, geez, we're going down a slippery slope here that I want to stay off of. We promise no politics on this
that's
show,
true.
but those are facts. Those are simple facts.
So, if you work for the post office and listen to this while you are working, Jared apologizes.
I don't apologize. That's
vote.
awesome. You got help. They got unbelievable pensions there. I want to work for the post office. Shit, give me a job. That's if you work for the post office, listen to this podcast. Get me a job.
So, that is going to pretty much wrap it up, fellas, unless you got any other things that you want to add. If not, I will close this out. Looks like everyone's good. So,
Yep.
Good to go.
Had two reviews. One was Wager McGee, which I feel like is not a real name.
That's a little there.
The consistent winners these guys rolled out in 2018 Super Contest was phenomenal. Led almost wire to wire, and I won't say the last part until lucky week 17. Damn you, Blaine Gabbert.
Check the Twitter. Check the Twitter bio for that one.
Yeah. Is it Grant Janke? I can't tell if that's real either. I'm sorry if you were listening right now. That sounds like a legit name. So,
No, he follows us. He's in the best ball competition too.
okay, there you go. Boom, winner. Sorry, I apologize for questioning your last name. I didn't mean it.
We're not the greatest on this podcast at reading handles or aliases.
Well, okay, I got Jets
Yours
fan
truly
Connecticut. I got Smiley 69 300. Like, I don't know what's real and what's fake. We just read Wager McGee over here as well. Next is
Maybe
going to be
maybe
Mr.
that's his real name.
Mushface. Just watch. So it says,
Mr. Mushface is not left to review because he's a mush.
I make the rounds of the popular betting podcasts most week. These guys stand out to me as the best. Thank you. They make
Wow.
good picks, provide good analysis, and get right to the point, which we appreciate. That's what we try and do. So if you're still
Give
listening,
people what they want.
exactly. So Grant, if you're still listening, we appreciate you hanging in here for the 50 some odd minutes that we got right to the point on, but we do appreciate it. So for myself, Michael Larson, the big brother, Jerry Larson, and Scott Panza. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Pigskin Junkies. Thanks so much for tuning in. We are out of here.
Later.
See ya.